Hey guys, Caroline here. I hope you're all doing very well. So today we are talking pads versus tampons, a true debate between women everywhere. I thought this would be useful, especially if you're a little bit younger and you've just gotten your period. I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of each and help you decide which would be most suitable for you. So let's start with pads. They come in two sizes depending on how heavy your period is. On a regular day, you can go for the regular size, or on days when your period is a bit more heavy, a bit more flow, go for the super and they will keep you nice and secure. Now pads will come wrapped up in plastic. This is for hygiene reasons, just obviously if you're popping it in your handbag you want it to make sure it's nice and clean, so never take it out of the plastic until you actually need to use it, and all you have to do is unwrap it. These are of course U by Kotex, hence the colourful bright designs, and the pad will come out like this, and to apply it all you have to do is take the sticky side, place that down, and I would always recommend going for the ones with wings because these tuck underneath the underwear and help stop this from sliding throughout the day, so that extra bit of security. These are great because they're super easy to apply, and of course you can see them, so you'll know straight away when you need to change it. It is recommended to change them every 3 to 4 hours for hygiene reasons, of course, and they're just a lot more easier and faster, I find, especially if you're a beginner, a lot less intrusive to apply. The only cons are that of course you need to wear a certain style of underwear to make sure that it actually sits properly. Some people don't like the feel of them, they can bunch up a little bit, that's why I say always go for the ones with wings. And then some people just don't like the idea of it kind of just sitting there. Obviously the pad is going to absorb the blood, but it will be sitting there for a couple of hours, and some people just don't like the feeling of that. So I guess those are the cons of a pad. Which leads us to tampons. So tampons come in a little plastic packaging, same as a pad. You've got the regular or the super, depending on how heavy your flow is, and all you have to do is remove the plastic like so, and then they'll have a little string at the bottom. All you have to do is loosen that so that it comes out, and then just insert, and don't worry, it is impossible to insert them too far. And to remove, generally you'll be able to feel when it starts to get quite soaked and that it's ready to pull out, and all you have to do is just pull on the string. If you're finding a little bit difficulty removing it, so if you're using a super, maybe go down to a regular or a mini, or you could just be tugging it at the wrong angle, so just kind of adjust the string a little bit and try pulling it at different angles, and that will usually help it slide straight out. So the great thing about tampons are that of course they're out of sight, out of mind. You apply them, I mean obviously the string's sticking out, but unlike a pad you're not going to feel it there. And they're also great if you've got a really active day, if you want to go swimming, all you have to do is make sure that you apply a clean tampon before you go in the water, and then change it straight away when you go out, and you're good to go. And of course if you're planning on, say, wearing a really tight dress and you're worried that the pad might actually show through, you won't have that issue with tampons. Now the only cons to these are, of course, if you're a beginner, applying them, let's be honest, can be a little bit daunting. Honestly though, after a while you'll get totally used to it and you won't even notice they're there anymore. Another con is of course that fear of leakage, freakage. The good thing about U by Kotex is that they do have that last line of defense, so that extra absorbency right here at the bottom, so you shouldn't experience leakage as long as you're using the appropriate one for the day, for example a regular or a super if you're got a bit of a heavier flow. But of course what you can do is use a panty liner, so they just come in little packages like so. Basically like a mini tiny version of a pad. It's extremely thin, got the sticky side, and you'll just place that there, and these two combined you don't have to worry about anything. So personally I actually use both. I'll find more often I go for pads for something like work, or if I'm just home throughout the day. A lot easier and faster to be changing throughout the day, but if I've got, say, like a special occasion in the evening and I just want it out of sight, out of mind, I'll go for a tampon. And of course they are quite small, so a lot easier to just kind of stick into your purse and no one will see them. So it really does depend on the person or the occasion. Everyone's got their own personal preference. Like I said, I kind of interchange between the two, but I hope you guys found this video useful or informative. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.